Hello, everyone. And go ahead, let everyone come in and say hello. I hope you are doing well this evening. Come in and say hi. Oh, so I want to show you something real quick. So I have been drinking a ton of tea today because my voice is kind of janky. It's not doing so well. Let me just. And it gave me the idea that I would show you how cool these are. So one of my favorite candies. I know last week we talked about like the peppermint candies I love and all that. So one of my favorite candies is these little honey bears from Scoozies, and I put one in the description box, a link to them. They're so good. Anyway, I buy them by like the handfuls whenever I get to the store. And what I do is I make a cup of tea and I just pop that honey bear right down in, and it all melts away into the tea. Completely melts away. And then your tea is perfectly sweetened. Like not overly sweetened, just perfectly sweetened. Thought I'd show you that little trick since it was on my mind today because my voice is a little janky today. So I have some tea by my side. Hi, Shalana. How awesome that you're here tonight. So happy to see you. Hi, Luann. Hi, Amanda. I hope you are all doing wonderful. Okay, tonight's bundle, and then we have some extra products I'm going to be using too, is the new Winter Home stamp set. Hi, Kate. The brand new cream colored glitter stock and black licorice cardstock, the licorice cardstock. And then we are also going to be using Watercolor Galaxy paper pad. This is an older paper pad. It's been around for a while, but it is so good. I love, love, love it. It's I think it's one of the best paper pads ever. Another favorite product, Alabaster embossing powder. We're going to use that tonight. And we're going to use our little magic powder tool to create our card. So that's where we are tonight. I hope you're all doing wonderful. Just catching up on the comments. Yes, Amanda says love the glitter stock. I love the glitter stock too. It is 100. Amazing glitter stock. Adore it. And in case you were wondering, I have put it through its paces. So it will die cut. If you have like a real intricate die cut, it will die cut a real intricate die cut. You can cut it with just a plain paper trimmer. It's not gonna like dull your blade or anything. It's so good. It doesn't shed. Ah. So we need a card base for tonight's card project, and we need a card front. So let me just grab some white cardstock. So we're going to start by cutting all our paper. Shalana says she has that paper pad and she uses it sparingly, so because she doesn't want it to run out. It is that good. I agree. We are actually going to use it pretty sparingly tonight, but it's going to make such a huge impact on our finished project that you're not even going to think that you used it sparingly, but you did. Okay, so I am going to cut my card front 4 by 5 1/4. Then I'm going to take the glitter stock, and I just want some 1/2 inch or 1 inch. No, I think we're going 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch strips. Just a couple. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be. We're gonna tear them up, so it doesn't matter. We're gonna go ahead and I'm going to cut 3 half-inch strips. Those off to the side. I'm not going to use this quite yet. We're not going to use this quite yet. I'm going to put my strips over here. This is just scratch paper. And then we're going to come into the paper pad. So Watercolor Galaxy is all of these beautiful patterns. They're so cool. Just going to flip through them quickly. So my idea for tonight's card is inspired by Northern Lights. Have you ever seen the Northern Lights? I would love to know who has. I have. I have seen them when they're strong enough to see them with just your naked eye. And then I've also, because of where I live, I've had a couple instances where I've been able to see them with your camera. When you put your camera up, awesome. We need some darker ones. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to just cut 1-inch strips. We want some of these really dark patterns from this collection, just 1-inch strips, not half-inch strips like I just did. I don't know what I was not measuring correctly. Math and we don't get along very well. So we just want some 1-inch strips from a bunch of these different patterns. Some of the blues, some of these purples. The pinks. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 8 to 10 1-inch strips. Oh, hi, Karen. So nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Jamie. Susan asked if I have a bundle. Yes, I do have a bundle. So the bundle tonight is only $27.96. So it's a really good price. It's the winter home stamp set that we're going to use and the SVG digital cut files and then new cardstock. So some of the beautiful licorice cardstock and some of this gorgeous white glitter stock. I just have a little scrap here, but you can kind of see, like, it's gorgeous. We're going to play with that in just a minute. So yes, I have a bundle. I also have, I'm going to be using alabaster embossing powder. And if you haven't gotten it yet, I'm going to be using this Watercolor Galaxy paper pad. And I did leave a link straight to that Watercolor Galaxy paper pad in case you don't have it yet because you need it. So I'm going to stop with the strips there. I'm not 100% sure. I might need a couple more, but for now, I think we're okay. So I'm going to leave my paper pad open and off to the side. No, I'm not. I'm going to grab one more sheet of paper here. Where's that one? That's green. That's the one I need. This one. Okay, so then we're gonna make a little scene card tonight. So we need some hilly spots. We are gonna make some hilly spots. So I'm gonna take the glitter cardstock. I am going to flip it over. And I'm going to make and draw just like that. 2 little hilly spots. Just a second, need to grab a little bit of tea. And then I'm going to follow the line. That I just drew with my pencil. Oops. And then when we flip it over, see how we have cute little snowy hills for the front of our card? So awesome. Then I'm going to place these 2 on this background, and I'm going to come up a little bit. I'm going to draw another little hilly area. And I'm cutting on the inside of that pencil mark. Since I did, I don't want it to be seen on the front of the card. No pencil marks. So this is what we end up with. Something that looks like that. So this card from start to finish will take 1 full sheet. Or, well, no. 1 sheet will get you 2 cards. Yeah, because I already made 1. So 1, you only need half a sheet of the glitter cardstock for this card. But it's going to make such a huge impact. Okay, so then we have our pretty little strips. I'm going to take all of this and pop it over here. And then we're going to come in and do our little houses. So for our houses tonight, I didn't want to color anything. I wanted it to look, I wanted something contrasty. So what we're going to do is we are going to heat emboss these houses on our white cardstock. This is not white, this is black. On our black cardstock with white embossing powder. Shh, I know I can't talk tonight. Please forgive me. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut this down. So we're going to do a lot of heat embossing on tonight's project to some degree, but we're going to do it in little bits. Just a minute. My Misty has ground legs and walked away. It's not where it's supposed to be. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's cool. Susan said she went fishing in Alaska and saw the Northern Lights. They are beautiful. They are the inspiration for tonight's card project. Okay, so right here, this is a magic powder tool. It's going to make sure that our embossing powder yeah, correct, only goes where we want it to go. I tend to over powder. You probably don't need quite as much as I use. But I'm always scared, especially when you're doing white embossing powder on black cardstock. Like that just has to be perfect. You can't mess that up. So I'm going to stamp 3 of these little houses, all 3 of the little images that are on the stamp set, 1 of each. I have my embossing powder, embossing ink. You guys, what is wrong tonight? I can't speak. There's actually a word for that. It's called monotropism. I think that's what it's called, where your brain just can't speak sometimes. That's it. That's what I have tonight. Okay. So I'm inking this up really, really good. And this is the pristine embossing ink, not the one that's been chewed on by mixed media. I don't think Penny's here tonight, is she? I haven't seen her pop in at all and say hello. So I'm kind of thinking she's not. I'm going to put this up to the camera because I want to show you how cool this is. So I love our magic powder tools, the little magic powder bag. I think it's awesome. I especially love that it's not talcum powder. And it's completely like non-toxic. Look at that. You can exactly see if I missed any of that stamp set. Okay. So we'll go ahead and clean off our stamps. And then we can go. You just pardon my reach. And this should be perfect. So the bundle comes with the SVGs so that you can cut the SVGs and stamp that way. I'm doing it old school. I'm gonna fussy cut these. Just because I am a fussy cutter. So and then we're gonna grab this and we're gonna buff away the powder. And doesn't that look awesome? I love how they look like that. Oh, they're so pretty. So we're going to heat emboss again, but not for a little bit. We're going to heat emboss the entire card front when we're all finished. Okay. So now we can just fussy cut our little houses. I just love them. I love them embossed in white on that black cardstock. Oh, yeah. Susan says there's aphasia. That is when a person can't think of a particular word. Yeah, I don't have that problem. I just intersparse words. Like I flip them. Like I'll say white instead of black accidentally, or I'll say embossing ink instead of embossing powder. And I almost always immediately catch myself. I'm with Katie. Kate says it's a senior moment. There we go. That's good. Which works because I am getting up there in age. So I'm just going to fussy cut these cute little buildings out. Thank you, Karen. Karen says they came out really great. They really did. I really like to do things like this. So if you don't want to, if you're not a colorer, right? If you don't um like to color, but you like the really pretty designs, this is a great way to use things like that. And all you have to do is think high contrast. So if you're just make sure you have like an opaque embossing powder, not a translucent one. And you want to, if you're going to heat emboss, say in a dark color, use a really light cardstock. If you're going to heat emboss, like we're doing here on a really dark cardstock, do a really light heat embossed color, because then you have this like lovely high contrast, and it completely makes up for not having things colored. High contrast is the ticket for you if you're not a colorer. And heat embossing, it gives it that little bit of something extra textural as opposed to just stamping it. Looks a little bit more like you intended it that way, not like you just forgot to color your stamp in. I hope that makes sense. There's a little design 101 for you today. That, and get honey bears and put them in your tea. If you take nothing away from tonight's live, honey bears, put them in your tea. You will never go wrong. Okay, and there we go. So now we have our little buildings. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that white card panel that we started with. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And all you want to do is, you don't need to use like your favorite cardstock. We're going to cover this up completely. So just use whatever scraps or whatever you've got hanging around, because it's not going to be visible. It's just there because we're going to go ahead and we are going to rip and tear. So I'm going to put these in a little bit of an order. I'm going to go from dark to light. And then same with the pinks. Just like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tear these 1-inch strips. We're going to tear them into, they're not going to be 1/2 inches, but something like that. Right? So the only advice, the only thing you need to remember is this top one needs to be able to hold your sentiment. So make sure that your top, why is there a fly in my room? It's winter. Make sure the top bit can hold your sentiment. Beyond that, there are no rules. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put a bead of glue, and then we're going to line this up. The other thing we need to make sure is that we're not gluing this completely down. We want to be able to pick this torn edge up and floof it a little bit. We want to floof it. Then we're going to take the next one and put another bead of glue. And we're going to tuck this right underneath the first one. And then same thing, we're going to floof it. That is a very scientific term, floofing. Next, we're going to grab our glitter stock, and we're just going to take, so not even a full piece, right? We're not going all the way across. We're just going to take a little smidgen of it. And we're going to tuck it in between the layers. So it just peeks out the teeniest little bit of glitter. Okay. We're going to take the next one. We're going to do the same thing. So next one, little bead of glue. Tuck this underneath. Floof up the edges. Next bead of glue. Next little strip. Floof up the edges. This is super fun. There's no wrong way to do it. You can't get this wrong. And then every so often, we're going to take that little bit of glittery goodness and we're going to tuck it in. Just a little tuck here and a little tuck there. So we're floofing and we're tucking and we're gluing and we're tearing. We're going to do this all the way down to the bottom or almost to the bottom. Keep going until you have completely run out. Because we're overlapping these, they won't go all the way to the bottom of our card. Actually, I'm going to start in with the pinks and the reds now, because I want to make sure that you can really see those pinks and reds towards the bottom of the card in the background behind our beautiful buildings. So I want to make sure that we definitely have them here. So floof and glue, glue and floof. And then every so often add a smidgen of glitter. It is. Yeah, Susan, mine's been going on. I'm not a senior yet, so I definitely have a little brain fog. Amanda, this is so fun. It might be a little like boring to watch, but when you sit here and do it, it's like, this is awesome because there's literally no wrong way to do it. There is, you can't mess it up. You simply cannot. And you can just whenever you are doing it, you see a little piece and you're like, oh, I really wished I had a little more glitter in between there. Add some glitter. You can just, you're perfect. Okay, let me see where we are here. One more. Super fun. So floof. And then a little bit of glue. And then the next little strip. And I think this one will be the bottom. And we need one more. Maybe we do need one more. There's just a smidgen of just a smidgen. And then the fun, I love the little glitter addition. Like, just adds that perfect finishing interest. Okay, so one more. There we go. Okay. Now we can turn this over and we're going to trim all the pieces off. And we shouldn't have any that check and make sure. We're going to check and make sure that everything is glued down around the edges once we trim this off. Just to make very, very sure. Okay. So there's our sky. I think we did pretty good. I think it definitely looks like it has that look of the Northern Lights. So the first one we're going to put down is we're going to put down our green, that green watercolor galaxy, the first little set of hills that we cut. Oh, I'm going to do it from this way. So that's going to be in the back. And again, just trim off the edges. Okay, and then we're going to take those two pieces. These are just going to be extras. These are the two pieces that we cut from. I'm going to center this one. And I'm not going to glue along here. If we don't glue along there, then we have the ability to tuck one of these houses underneath if we want. And of course we do. So there's the first little gluey piece. And then again, this one, same thing. I'm not going to, oh, I forgot to do the street lamp. I meant to do the street lamp when I heat embossed before. So I guess tonight's card won't have a street lamp, but that's okay. I'll show it to you on the other one. Okay, so give this a good press down. As is the case with most glitter paper, it's not going to want to stick without really catching onto what's underneath it. Okay, and I'm going to straighten. Okay, so there is our base for our little houses. How cute. Love, love, love it. And then we can start to arrange how we want our houses to be. So we have them all arranged on different areas, different little hills. And I put this one on front, but you could put this one in front too, and put this one in the back. You could arrange these however you want. There's no wrong way. You could also heat emboss more than just 3. You could really heat emboss a lot, and have like a whole neighborhood. Yes, Amanda says this technique would make a great tag for a scrapbook page, and I wholeheartedly agree with her. So the first time, in fact, it's so funny she says that, because the first time I ever created a background like this, it was on a scrapbook page, but I didn't put it on a tag. So what I did was I took a bottom third of the page, so the 4 inches across the bottom of a scrapbook page, all the way across 12 by 4 block. And I did that. And then I used it almost like a shelf to put my photograph and everything else on my scrapbook page. I love layered torn paper. I think it is just so fun. I think it looks like almost like an art project or like an art piece, and I'm obsessed. Okay, so now it's time to go back to our heat embossing. Gonna take a drink of tea, and I'm going to let my glue cure just a smidge. Mm. Yes, thank you so much, Solana. If you could give this video, this live, a thumbs up, that would be amazing. That lets YouTube know that you liked it. And then YouTube will use its little algorithm to show this live video to other people on YouTube that watch live crafting videos too. Isn't that cool? Kate says she's always messed up names. Yeah. I'm actually okay with names. It's really just like when things are close, like embossing ink and embossing powder. I'm going to flip between the two, and I'm not going to think too hard about which one I'm supposed to be saying. That's where I kind of get mixed up with, but it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to do some more heat embossing right on the card. So that's why I washed my stamps before I pulled them off, before I closed my MISTI. So the first thing here, let me show you. If you watched my video my live last week, where I talked about how much I love the teeny tiny little, the little stamps, this whole release, the City Sidewalks release, is fabulous for these little itty bitty tiny like confetti stamps, or like little sparkle stamps, because they're on this one too. So we've got some snowflakes on this one, and they're real teeny tiny. Also on this stamp set is a moon. We're not going to use the moon for tonight's project, but I think you certainly could. There's a bird, there's the little street lamp, and a little snowman. So you can kind of create any kind of scene that you would want to create on this. I'm going to I'm going to grab all of these little snowflakes. I'm also going to grab our sentiment. So there are two sentiments on the stamp set. Both of them would work really well. One says, "May your heart be light this winter." The other one says, "Congrats on your new home." That's the one I'm going to use tonight. But in the other card I'm going to show you, I used the "May your heart be light this winter." So you could use, both would work. I'm going to put my sentiment across that dark top piece of the card. And then I'm just going to scatter these little stars different places. Now we're going to go ahead and there's no wrong place to put these stars. Probably thinking about contrast, you maybe want to keep them onto darker areas. Like you can see, I'm kind of putting them on the darker areas because we're embossing in white powder. Okay. So grab all of those. And we're gonna use our little magic powder tool here. And we're gonna wipe this off. It will all come off, no problem. Just grab a microfiber cloth, buff it away. It's not gonna hurt anything. And we're gonna go ahead and ink up. I'm gonna ink this up twice. so I get a good impression. And I'm not pushing down too hard because I don't want to mush that sentiment at the top. No mushing the sentiments. Talked about that last week too. Don't want to mush the sentiments. Don't want to mush the snowflakes. Okay. And then, well, thank you. Shalana says she loves it. Yeah, it's really, really cute. Thank you so much, my friend. Okay, so white cards, embossing powder, just gonna flip. Ah. Hit it with our powder tool. And then I'm thinking we need some crystals on here, don't you think? I definitely think we need some crystals. So we're just going to buff away the powder. And then you can kind of see how it pops. And it also, this snow kind of helps the little, what technically would be stars, look like snow too. So cute. And then we're going to add, we have to add crystals, I think. So what you guys think? Let's see. Where's the little hematite ones? That's the ones I'm going to look for here. There we go. Here's the little hematite gems. There's Penny. Hello, my friend. How are you? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pop our card front onto a card base. And then we're going to add our fun little gems, crystals for a little extra sparkle. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 little crystals. 2 little crystals to each one of the snowflakes. So it makes like, you'll see, like little triangle. Oh, thank you. Amanda says always crystals, and I agree. Kate says there was so much to learn with this card. Embossing twice, tearing, fluffing. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Cordelia. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed this technique tonight. That's awesome. Okay. we're going to add these little gemstones, little crystals, just because you can never have too much sparkle, right? I'm so glad you all enjoyed tonight's card. Okay. So there we go, all done. And I told you I would show you the other one. So this one, which is like the example card, I added the little street light down here. You can see the little street lamp. So you can make it however you want it. And I think these are a little bit wider. So you have some choices and options as to how you can put your card together. So this one we have a little bit more color and a little bit more strips. This one, they're a little wider. And then we have a street light on this one, and they have different sentiments. So two different ways, two different options for how you could create your card. And there's our card project for tonight. Thank you all so much for coming. Cordelia said she's been lurking while she colors. I love that. Perfect. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I hope that you enjoyed tonight's live. Don't forget, description box. You can find links to the store, links to the tonight's bundle, and hit the like button so everybody knows, so we can get more people to come and see the live and learn all these great techniques too. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much, Karen. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Bye.